GM, I'm Rex, and this is your Beanstalk Farms weekly call roundup. Both of this week's calls were on Thursday, May 11th. Things kicked off with a weekly DAO call, where the first item on the docket was the temperature check vote that's currently underway. The vote is a critical first step in potentially changing unripe seed rewards.
There was a lot of discussion started, many months ago around making the unripe seed rewards, for depositing unripe assets in the silo equal in order to further incentivize conversions from the unripe LP token to unripe beans in order to arbitrage the bean price. We wanted to get some more formal feedback from the DAO in the form of a snapshot proposal using stock. And so the plan is to have this take course over the next couple weeks. The voting choices will probably look something like, 0 seeds, 0.51, 1.52, or something to that effect. And if you have any feedback on what those voting choices should look like, please feel free to drop them in the temp check channel that we opened yesterday.
Next, sweetredbeans gave updates on a number of user interface items and, on request, offered to give a preview of the site for the forthcoming Basin project.
Yeah, we'd love to. Give us another week or two, because I think the site will actually be in a good spot to demo the site as opposed to, some of the prototypes I've built in Figma. But excited to do so. I think that would be great to do in the DAO Meeting.
After that, the engineering team previewed the balanced migration process for Basin.
Taking into the fact that gas is consistently over 100, it looks unlikely that we'll be able to actually pay to migrate everyone. So we're going to have to fall back to the original option, which was basically the first time you want to interact with the silo after the silo v3 is deployed, you just have to migrate basically from the old silo to the new silo, and then you can do everything like usual after that. So the cost for that, varies heavily depending on what the current gas price is. The most expensive one to migrate will be the root token, but for the average user, I think it'll be maybe $20 to $40 or something, depending on what the gas price will be.
The migration process will be necessary for any new interactions with the silo after the v3 upgrade, but those who wait to migrate won't lose any value.
So if you want to do anything with the silo, then you do need to migrate in order to do that. If you don't migrate, you will still keep earning the stock that you would have at whatever the current amount of seeds is for whatever tokens you hold. So there's not really any cost to not migrating, because basically the way that it works is all of your old deposits need to be removed from the old silo system and be deposited into the new silo v3 system. With seeds being static, we couldn't support any change in the seeds value, because it would mess up how much stock would be removed from the system when you tried to convert or withdraw your deposit. So that's why we're migrating to the system that's based on kind of an index. And so every single token will have its on how much stock has been grown per BDV of value that is deposited by that token in your deposits. And so that means that basically, even if the seeds value changed every single season, the system can calculate properly how much grown stock you have, no matter how many seasons have passed since then. So that means that when the migration happens, even if you don't migrate right away, basically when you do end up migrating, the system will calculate how much stock you earned up until the migration, and it'll award you that, and then it'll also award you whatever the amount of stock has grown for each of your deposits since the migration as well, even taking into account the possible dynamic seed changes.
The end of the meeting focused on seed rewards, first for unripe assets, and then for deposits into the Bean ETH well under the Basin system.
Yeah, from my perspective, it's a little bit of the tragedy of commons, right? Or I guess the benefit of the unripe holder is not 100% aligned with what's best for the protocol, right? We unripe holders would like higher stock per BDV, but for the health of the protocol, probably best to lower, take an altruistic stance and lower the seeds for BDV.
I think I would vote for making the Bean ETH reward be higher than the Bean 3 curve pool, because It's ETH is decentralized, and also the volatility kind of adds a little bit of arbitrage opportunity to bring Bean back to peg, and so I think that opens up some possibilities. So incentivizing that a little bit more than just the stables could be beneficial for Bean overall, but curious to hear what other people think.
There was lots of other good discussion on the call, so be sure to check it out in its entirety. Later that day, Scrib held their weekly call, where the team gave an update on the upcoming Beanifesto piece. They also discussed a potential change to the release date to get the piece in front of larger crypto news outlets.
We got a request from the PR team to maybe move that to maybe Wednesday so that they have enough time to pitch it out, and then we can have maybe one of the bigger outlets pick it up. So that might be a little bit variable. It might be like they're saying maybe Wednesday, maybe like even a Thursday. So definitely next week. But I think having a good strong PR push is kind of maybe worth pushing it back a day or two. So just something to keep on the radar.
The group also discussed improving overall engagement with the protocol by focusing on community participation. Specifically, the team pitched a task and incentive program similar to those used by other protocols and DAOs.
A community incentivized system. So one, it's good as far as just purely discovery, right? So you're getting on this platform that people are visiting all the time, and then we can create objectives like join the Discord, deposit in the silo, sow in the field, we can kind of set whatever objectives we want, and then we can incentivize them with Bean.
And that's all for this week. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you around the farm.